In September 2025, I made over $5,400 in royalties on Amazon KDP. But how much was profit? Hi, it's Simon from Salary to Side Hustle with my second Amazon KDP income report, focusing on September 2025. Let's get into it. So as you can see, the overall royalties I received in September were $5,420. That's about £4,042 at the current exchange rate. And that was based on 2,097 orders. So for me, that's a solid month. And if we compare it to last month, you can see in August I made just about $175 less than in September, and that represents a 3.2% increase from August to September. Similarly, the number of books went up by 102, which is a 4.9% increase. And the reason those figures are different is because the actual money I made per book went down slightly. As you can see, it was $2.63 in August and then $2.58 in September. So that's a reduction of about 5% per book. And in terms of orders per day, which is one of my favorite metrics to track, it's 64.4 in August, and that's gone up to 69.9 in September. So about a 7.9% increase. So apart from the money per book, it's all heading in the right direction. And then at the bottom, you can see where I was last year. So September 2024, about $3,500 in royalties, and that's 34% increase through to September this year. And then I was on 1,542 orders, so we've gone up 26% to 2,097. So overall, definitely moving in the right direction. The rest of the video then, let's talk about what was actually profit. Then I'm going to share some of my KDP dashboard information, takeaways from September, what's next, so mainly focusing on October, and then just a very quick wrap up. So the profits. In September 2025 then, total royalties, $5,419.95. But I'm very ads heavy in my KDP, I guess, business. Really, I focus on having a lot of books that sell a small amount each. I haven't got any particular bestsellers that do a lot of organic sales themselves. So I spent $3,310 on adverts in September. And then if you add in my subscriptions, so ChatGPT, Midjourney, Canva, you get an actual profit of $2,040 thereabouts, which is £1,530. So again, for me, that's a good month. You know, I'm happy with that. If I spent $3,000 and got $2,000 profit from it on anything else doing it in a month, I'd be delighted. So I see the return as pretty healthy. The profit per order was 97 cents, so making just slightly less than $1 profit every time a book is sold. And if we look at the dashboard a bit then, so I don't have a huge spread of sales. You can see the lowest is $133 and the highest is $240. And most of the time it's somewhere between $150 and $200. So over the month tends to be fairly consistent. As you can see, if you look to the right of the $5,400 figure, I've got 990 books on Amazon. So my focus is very much on low content and some medium content books to effectively publish at low cost quite a few books rather than going for a smaller number of books where you've actually invested money in them. For me at the moment, that's too risky because I don't really have the confidence that if I invest $1,000 in a book, I'm going to get $3,000 back over time. I'd rather go with the low investment. And so I do most of the activity in the business myself. So that's the royalties. You then look at the orders, 2,097. Unsurprisingly, the lowest and the highest days are next to each other as they were in the royalties screen. And it's 51 on the lowest day and 90 on the highest day. I quite often find if I have a really good day, I then pay for it on the next day. Doesn't always work the other way, but as you can see, there's a couple of dips there in the 50s earlier in the month, and mostly from those I have a better second day. My assumption is not everybody's got Prime, and sometimes the orders actually get staggered across 2 days. But so 2,097 books, again, that's a good month for me. If you look at the regions, then I moved from selling probably about equal number of books in the UK and the US to being much more US heavy now. And that's because my focus has moved away from colouring books, more towards, I guess, more sort of craft type focus. And doing that has meant that really there's a bigger market in the US for that. And the UK puts VAT on a lot of books now that it didn't used to. And that's hit my UK sales quite heavily because you come up with what you feel is a reasonable price, and then you have to put 20% on top of it, and you get no royalties from that extra VAT. So it's just a significant negative, really, in doing business in the UK. It's also true of Europe as well, but I don't invest as much time in those markets. So I don't really notice it quite the same. Canada has been up and down for me this year, but 162 books is again pretty decent. And then I advertise in Germany, France, Netherlands, and Australia, just a small amount. And as you can see, that triggers a decent amount of sales for each of those territories. All of them are profitable. And then I don't advertise in Spain, Japan, Sweden, and Italy. So really, it's just reliant on people finding my books and buying them. And occasionally that happens, as you can see. So it's been a good month for me, September. Two main takeaways. I was really nervous of the royalty change Amazon made a few months ago, where if you don't put a book in at $7.99 in the UK and $9.99 in the US and Europe, you get a reduced amount of royalties. And I thought by increasing the price of my books to meet that minimum price, I'd end up struggling quite a lot, and I'd have more or less a collapse, really, of my sales. But actually, I'm now making more money per month than I did before this change. So in a roundabout way, thank you, Amazon. And then the second bit, I've spoken about it briefly already, the colouring book niche. It's how I started off in KDP, but it is massively competitive, and it continues to decline for me. And I'm not prepared to put the money into the cost per click to make sure that my books are highly visible. So most of my effort now goes into other areas. And what's next for me then? So got some goals for October. I want to publish at least 20 books. As you've seen, I'm on 990. So in October, I'll go over 1,000 if all goes to plan. And then I'd like to achieve at least $2,000 of profit and achieve at least 2,000 sales. Both those figures are really healthy for me. So I'm not really pushing my my optimism any higher for October. We are in Q4 now, technically, but I find Q4 doesn't really start until the second half of November and then into December. And as per the previous slide, I'm at 97 cents per book profit. So it'd be nice to nudge that over $1 profit per order. And I'm looking for another niche to do a deep dive into. And assuming I'm successful in that, I'll be sharing that with this channel to let you know how it goes and see what I can learn from doing it. And then this YouTube thing is one of my new hobbies, I guess. I'm currently on a huge 15 subscribers, so I'm looking to get at least 25 subscribers by the end of October. So please, if you want to see more content like this, then do like and subscribe, and I'll be back hopefully on a weekly tempo with KDP focused material and also some YouTube beginner reflections. And then I'm looking to do 3 YouTube videos, including this one. So that's October. And really, just a quick wrap up. I find KDP still really, really worth it in 2025. I couldn't turn it into a full-time job based on the hourly rate I get from the effort put in and the return. But given for me, it's sort of part hobby, part business. It's actually, you know, a reasonable use of my time, and I'd really just be doing other hobby type activities that wouldn't make me any money, and I enjoy it. So it's a really good thing for me. But if you do get into it, do expect to need to adapt continuously. It's not a 100% passive business. You put the books out there and you hope they're going to sell, but then Amazon are always changing the rules, or people are coming in and the competition goes up, etc. So but books do really have a sort of a shelf life, I think is what I'm trying to say. So you do have to keep refreshing, and whether that's your cover, your interior, or just putting new material out there. So it's not really, you know, put 10 books out there and sit back and bring the money comes in. And I'll be learning YouTube over the next several months. Clearly, I'm off to a pretty amateurish start. We'll see how we can get on into the future, but it's a fun side project for me, and I'm hoping eventually, given this is a side hustle channel, that it actually becomes something that makes a little bit of money.